Welcome to the Destination Downriver podcast presented by the Trenton Trib and Island Beacon. And we are so thrilled to join you once again on our second podcast, coming to you live from the beautiful Trenton Trib offices in downtown Trenton. If you remember, which you do because you listened to our first podcast, we had a fantastic launch podcast back in April when we talked about a lot of great topics, including what Destination Downriver is. You also had an opportunity to hear from the coalition's co-chair, Sue Trussell, and a lot of other exciting topics. And today will be no different, as we have just a fantastic lineup of guests and very exciting topics as well that we'll be discussing on today's podcast. Joining me today will be Claude Molinari, who is the president and CEO of the Detroit Convention and Visitors Bureau, and we'll be talking about how the Detroit Convention and Visitors Bureau and Destination Downriver are working together to change attitudes and attract interest and economic development to our Downriver region. Also joining me will be Liz Henley, who is the new co-chair, also with Sue Trussell of the Destination Downriver Coalition. And Liz will be talking about what's been happening in the community of Flat Rock, where she serves as the Economic Development Director, and also how her role is playing in the regional marketing effort taking place with the Destination Downriver Coalition. And following Liz, or actually joining Liz, will be Monica and Gerardo Malgarejo, who are the owners of Atwater Street Taco and Station 24. And also, in addition to that, if that was not enough, they are also the owners of the Atwater Kayak and Bike Rental business at Hurock Park in Flat Rock. So a lot of great things coming up for today's podcast, and we hope you will stay with us and join us again on today's Destination Downriver podcast presented by the Trenton Trib and Island Beacon. My name is Ron Hendricks. I am the president and CEO of the Southern Wayne County Regional Chamber, and I will be your host for today's Destination Downriver podcast presented by the Trenton Trib and Island Beacon. And I'm very excited to be joining my guest, who is Claude Molinari, the president and CEO of the Detroit Metro Convention and Visitors Bureau. Claude, it's an honor to be joining you again. I know just a couple of months ago, you were the guest speaker for the Chamber's Business Forum, which is a virtual business forum. And we learned a lot about you and a lot about your vision and the Detroit Metro Convention and Visitors Bureau vision for not just Downriver, but the entire Detroit metro region. So Claude, welcome to the program. It's an honor to have you, sir.
Well, thank you, Ron. It's my pleasure and certainly my honor to be on this program and to speak with you again. I'm really excited about this.
Claude, as I mentioned, we learned a lot about you a couple of months ago with the Chamber's Virtual Business Forum, but can you start off by telling us a little bit about your background, where you come from, and maybe even what your vision is as the new leader of the CVB?
Sure. Well, I was born and raised in Long Island, New York. I went to university up in Buffalo, New York, where I met my bride, and then I got involved in the arena stadium convention business, and I was transferred to Hartford, Connecticut, New York, New Jersey, New York again, Pittsburgh, and then finally Detroit, where I was hired at the Cobo Center, which then became the TCF Center. And I was the general manager at the TCF Center for several years before I got the opportunity to work at the Bureau. And I started as the president and CEO of the Bureau on January 1st of 2021. So right in the throes of the pandemic. But I was so excited about what 2020 was going to be for Detroit. Our region, Southeast Michigan, was really starting to come on in the eyes of the event and show production world. And I feel like really this COVID situation was a pause of that, but not a total interruption. I really feel that coming out of that, we're still capturing the imagination of the event producers around the world. And I'm seeing some great events starting to pick up and choose Metro Detroit as their region. And I'm super bullish on the future of this region.
That's very exciting, Claude. It's great to hear your enthusiasm and your energy. And as I mentioned to you prior to the start of today's podcast, we are very excited about your leadership and the talent that you bring to our region. And it has not gone unnoticed the tremendous efforts of the Convention and Visitors Bureau under your leadership to help promote and attract economic development and talent to the Downriver region and the entire Metro Detroit region. So thank you, Claude. Prior to you taking the helm at the Convention and Visitors Bureau, the Destination Downriver Coalition had a close relationship and a very productive relationship with the Convention and Visitors Bureau under the leadership of Larry Alexander, and we wish him well and hope he's doing very well. But under your leadership now in this new era, local tourism packages and local experiences have become a focus. How can these programs help Destination Downriver and our area businesses?
Well, we have got a great lineup of compelling experience packages for all of our partners. So we would highly suggest reach out to us at visitdetroit.com in our membership department, and our team led by Harriet Carter, who's in charge of membership and bureau services, will put a team together, and we will work with our groups to put these immersive, fun, authentic packages together that really are drawing a lot of attention. We've already have 19 of these packages initiated on our website, and people are starting to really take a hold of them and use them. And every one of them includes a hotel night stay. So it's got a very immersive quality to it, and you really, it's really important for us so that there's authentic, that whatever they're doing, they know they're in Southeast Michigan, that they're on the Detroit River, that they've got a feel and a taste of our areas, and we have so many unique experiences and cultures here, between the Downriver and Dearborn and Oakland County and Wayne County and Macomb County. We've just got so many different things, and I'm really excited about how people are reacting and responding to these. And again, we started with the downtown core first, and that's really picked up. And I think based on that, and also the word of mouth from our partners who are saying, hey, we're getting some traction on these experience packages with our guests. We really want to push this out and make it so that this is sort of our niche, that when someone wants to come to Southeast Michigan, they'll have an experience. You're not just left on your own, but you're going to say, hey, I'm going to start with this, then I'm going to do this, I'm going to go do that, I'm going to have a meal, going to have a great hotel stay. There's a lot of things, and we've got so much to offer, especially in the Southeast Michigan area, with all our water, with all our parks, our metro parks, our trails, our bikes. I mean, there's just so much to do. And my wife and I are just clicking them off. We're doing every one of these packages until I have them all done, so I can say I've done them too, and we love them.
You brought up a lot of great points, Claude. And the fact is that Southeast Michigan, Downriver and all the other areas that make up the metropolitan Detroit region is an extremely diverse and exciting area to live and to work and to play in. And these visitor experience packages are really, I think, going to go a long way in helping people to discover all the special, aspects and places to visit in the Metro Detroit region. So thank you, Claude. And again, that's visitdetroit.com. Do I have that correct?
You do, sir. And again, just to follow up on that, especially downriver, we have so many hockey and bowling and fishing tournaments that take place in that region. And we think that, a lot of times these, especially with the amateur sports, that it's not only the parents that come, it's the player, but also the parents and the siblings. And they're looking for things to do when they're not at the ice rink or the bowling alley or on the lake, and having these opportunities to do so many more things. A lot of times that's a differentiator where you say, you know what, that's a great tournament, but even better, we had so much fun running around Southeast Michigan or on the Detroit River or downriver, it was, and so that's why we really want to make this area as attractive as possible so that people come back again and again and again.
You're listening to the Destination Downriver podcast presented by the Trenton Trib and Island Beacon. Again, my name is Ron Hendricks. I am your host, and joining me as today's guest is Claude Molinari, who is the president and CEO of the Detroit Metro Convention and Visitors Bureau. So Claude, a lot of the business community and the workforce community, as you know, are facing a lot of difficult challenges as we come out of the pandemic and the restrictions on gatherings and businesses that we saw over the past year and a half. With that in mind, what, in your view, are the biggest tourism and visitor challenges, again, as our state emerges from the pandemic?
Well, I think the biggest challenge we have right now is a restricted labor pool. There's, in talking to some of my hotel partners, their capacity right now is 30% of their inventory because that's all they can service. And that's, less in the downtown and more in the suburbs, but still, it's a real challenge. If we had recently a client reached out to us, a potential client said, "Hey, we're looking to do 5,000 people in 45 days. Can you do it?" And I was like, "Absolutely, ready to go." But I was terrified that we would be struggling to make that happen. And then they rethought the situation, said, "You know what? Let's do it in May of next year." I'm like, "Great, we can make that happen easily." But I think that right now we need to go a little bit slowly at first, build up our momentum with the number of shows that are going to come in, so that we can also build up our workforce. Because right now, a lot of the key ingredients of servicing these events, from valet parking to hotel room service to housekeeping to restaurants to all the different infrastructure that's required to host these great events, is definitely a challenge, and that's across the board. And I think that between the labor system, or the unemployment assistance, both from a state and federal government, as well as some of the difficulty of providing a living wage for these workers, has created a unique conundrum that we really have to be aggressive and address. And we're working towards that, trying to highlight what a great career it is to be in the hospitality industry. But it's a struggle right now, and I think that's going to be a real challenge, at least through the end of 2021.
It's a significant challenge, Claude, and you brought up a lot of great points in regards to the hardship that our employers or job providers and our workforce in all industries. It's not specific to just one industry, but it's across the board, as you mentioned. The challenges that we're facing and the hardship that's resulting from the worker shortage crisis. And the fact is that we as a community need to come together and roll up our sleeves, work with our elected leaders, work with our job providers and our workforce to find sensible solutions. And I appreciate all those points you brought up, Claude. Great points. The next question I have for you is, again, focusing on the recovery efforts. Can you talk about some of the partnership benefits and opportunities offered by the Detroit Metro Convention and Visitors Bureau that members of the Destination Downriver Coalition can fully leverage to help our communities recover?
I think one of the biggest things is we have an incredible, powerful website. VisitDetroit.com is one of the leaders in the entire industry as far as the number of visitors. And when, Southeast Michigan and Detroit in particular is the #1 tourist destination in the state of Michigan. And our platform at visitdetroit.com is critical to that. And again, I welcome any event, anybody who's doing any type of attraction, even if it's a one-off type of thing, should really reach out to us and we'll promote it. I mean, again, our biggest key is differentiating ourselves from everybody else. And, from music to food to sports to culture to outdoor events to indoor events, we have everything in this region. And so it's critically important for us to let everybody know that. And again, we just recently, during the Detroit Grand Prix, we put our visitdetroit.com logo on the infield grass as one of the sponsors. And we had amazing pickup during those 2 days of the race. And what was really exciting was how much of it was from outside of the United States. So we had a lot of people looking at coming and visiting. And when, international travel lifts, I believe we're going to be in a great position to attract those visitors. So again, membership with the Bureau puts you in a position where you're on our platform, and people are, again, so often the first thing they do is like, all right, I'm going to go to this region. Let me look and see what are the things that I want to do and that would appeal to me. And again, we've come up with this new interactive piece. It's called What's Your Vibe? And so when you're on our website, you go on there and you say, all right, I'm interested in outdoor recreation, sports, food, and nightlife. And then it'll track all that in and say, all right, we got your vibe. Here's what we'd recommend for you. And it'd be various different things that touch on those exact things. Then somebody else may say, I like museums and I want to be indoors and I'd like a higher end hotel or something like that. And again, we catch that vibe and then we put it out for them as well. So it can be very customized. And again, so anybody who's on our team will be part of that platform.
I'm with Claude Molinari today, who's the president and CEO of the Detroit Metro Convention and Visitors Bureau. And Claude, we're just about out of time, but before we wrap up this segment of today's podcast, the Convention and Visitors Bureau obviously is responsible for drawing in a lot of larger events and conventions to our region. And now that we're moving out of the era of restrictions on gatherings, can you tell us about any big, exciting events that might be coming to the Metro Detroit region in the future?
I can. We've got, just in the last 8 weeks, we've booked 6 major events for Metro Detroit that will be worth over 60,000 hotel rooms for the region, over $100 million in economic impact. One of those events is the Silicon Expo, which is a launch with a major manufacturing firm. And we've also got an event that we're going to be announcing soon that is meeting planners. Is going to bring 800 meeting planners to Southeast Michigan to attract them to host more events here. And what I'm really excited about is there's a firm out of New York City called Mad Events that does events from coast to coast and border to border. And they've partnered with a group out of Germany called Messe Dusseldorf, who is the one of the largest show producers in the world, and they're partnering together to do events solely in Detroit.
Pronounce that name one more time for me.
Sure, it's Messe Dusseldorf.
Beautiful.
And Mad Events, and this group and they've already got 4 events that we're targeting, one of which is going to be in the fourth quarter of 2021. But I see this as a great event. And what's most exciting about this partnership is that within the industry, it's created a whole lot of FOMO, where you've got a bunch of other shows reaching out to both those 2 partners and our bureau and saying, hey, what's going on? Why are they choosing Detroit? Why would these 2 people do that? These 2 firms come together and want to be in Detroit? Like, what are we missing? And what do they know that we don't? And we're really excited to field those questions and say, there's a lot that you need to know, and we're going to be able to show you. So I'm excited, really excited about what's going on here. I know that's a prevailing theme, but it's an accurate and really authentic feeling that I have because we've had so much action in the last several months.
It's an exciting time to be a Detroiter. It's an exciting time to be living in the Downriver region. And Claude Molinari, the president and CEO of the Detroit Metro Convention and Visitors Bureau. Claude, you've been a phenomenal guest today. It's always an honor spending time with you, and we are so grateful for your enthusiasm, your leadership, and your attention that you provide to not only Downriver, but the entire Detroit region. So, Claude, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Ron. So appreciative.
Welcome back to the second half of today's Destination Downriver podcast, presented by the Trenton Trib and Island Beacon. My name is Ron Henricks. I'm the president and CEO of the Southern Wayne County Regional Chamber, and I am your host. And the second half of today's podcast is going to be extremely exciting. In the first half, if you remember, we talked with Claude Molinari, who is the president and CEO of the Detroit Metro Convention and Visitors Bureau. And for the second half, we're going to be visiting the community of Flat Rock. And I might add the gorgeous community of Flat Rock, with so much happening down there at Herock Park and other great destinations. And my guest today from the city of Flat Rock, the Economic Development Director, is Liz Henley, who is also the new co-chair of the Destination Downriver Coalition. So Liz, it's an honor to have you with us on today's program, and welcome.
Oh, thank you very much, Ron.
So Liz, as I mentioned, you are the co-chair now of the Destination Downriver Coalition in partnership with Sue Trussell, who is the DDA director for Brownstown Township. And you also serve, your full-time position is the economic development director for the city of Flat Rock. So why don't we start there? Can you tell us a little bit about yourself, your background, and how you came about landing in your current position in Flat Rock?
Well, I've actually been almost a 25-year resident of the city now. We moved here because my husband has always said I'm going to work close to home, and he works in Ford Motor Company in Flat Rock. I've been in planning for most of my adult career, and I've worked for the city of Dearborn, the city of Riverview, was a consultant for a while, and it's just kind of been my lifelong thing to get into everything about planning and organizing and being in cities. So I have a whole different love and different inspiration when I visit places. I see them differently than everybody else, and it's always fun to watch things improve and see how they're gonna get better.
Great, Liz. You bring a lot of talent, and we're looking forward to many more years under your leadership in the city of Flat Rock. So thank you so much. First
Thank
question
you.
I have for you, and I have a lot of challenging questions for you today, Liz. So I hope you're prepared.
Absolutely.
Flat Rock seems to be a prototypical city for what our region is striving to achieve. Tied into the surrounding trails and parks, new and interesting businesses. How did that all come about? Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, we actually consider Flat Rock to be the recreational hub of Downriver. We're fortunate enough to be at the convergence of three major trails. We have the Downriver Link Greenway system for biking. We have the nationally designated Huron River Water Trail for canoeing and kayaking. And we are also part of the statewide Iron Belt Trail, which links numerous trails to provide access throughout the state of Michigan. These assets are obviously a core economic vehicle for Flat Rock. We're attracting unique businesses like S&J's Cupcakery, 24 Lux Beauty Bar, and Bare Essentials, along with Not Your Average Shop, which actually has a succulent bar, which people are going absolutely crazy about, and new eateries like Atwater Street Tacos and Station 24, and we're lucky enough to have them with us today. And they've become extremely popular in a very short period of time. The DDA had a national company doing our branding actually during the pandemic, and it was interesting for them to see so much happening in our community when nationally they weren't seeing much going on during the pandemic. So we're very, very proud of that. We work really hard to make Flat Rock a business-friendly city, and our small town feel combined with great recreation make it a great place to live, work, and play. So we welcome everyone to Flat Rock.
You know, there's the chamber, our the hashtag, if you will, is it's happening downriver, and you can easily use that same hashtag for Flat Rock. It's happening in Flat Rock. So, Liz, you're doing an amazing job. Thank you for sharing that all that great information. Does Destination Downriver's role feel like a catalyst for Flat Rock's evolution?
Oh, absolutely. Downriver has never really played the role of a destination for those who don't live here and know about the assets and opportunities we have available. We've long since outgrown our former reputation as an industrial area and have moved on to create places that people want to be. As the global home of the Ford Mustang at the Flat Rock Assembly Plant, even industries are changing with the times. After kayaking the Huron River for the first time, our city attorney said, geez, this is just like being up north. But guess what? We're not 4+ hours away.
Joining Liz Henley, who is my guest today, the Economic Development Director for the City of Flat Rock, and also the co-chair of the Destination Downriver Coalition. And Liz, tell us, what's the Flat Rock community been doing to stimulate new growth and new investment in the city?
Again, Ron, we try to be very business friendly, from walking in the door to making sure you get attention from any department that needs to help you. We work hard to make investing in our community an easy and efficient process. It doesn't help if you have to wait for things. We're working towards becoming a redevelopment ready community with the Michigan Economic Development Corporation, and that's exciting because it kind of speeds up the process for everybody. Our Downtown Development Authority is very active and offers facade grants to businesses that are new and existing, which really, really helps. They've recently put more money towards that effort because it's really making a difference. Once people fix up something that's fallen apart or they come in and they're new, those budget dollars are having a really positive reaction in the community. We also have our Flat Rock, our hometown group that plans all of our events. So we draw visitors from all around the region for concerts, movies in the park, car shows, the annual Taste of Flat Rock, which is coming up very shortly, spectacular Easter egg hunts, activities that everybody's really ready to get back into after being inside during this pandemic. So a combination of all the things that are happening are what make it a great place to come in and invest.
So we have two of Flat Rock's perhaps newest and youngest entrepreneurs joining us today, and that is Gerardo and Monica Melgarejo, who are amazing Southern Wayne County Regional Chamber members, I might add, and also the owners of Atwater Street Taco and then Station 24. So we're so excited to have them joining us today because they just opened Station 24 in Flat Rock. And then they also have a beautiful kayak launch and a bike rental company. So Monica and Gerardo, it's such an honor and a pleasure to have you guys with us today. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you, Ron. We're very happy to be here. Thank you for having us on today.
So this is the Destination Downriver podcast, and really, it's so natural to have you guys on this podcast because your businesses have truly become and just an amazing destination for the entire Downriver region. So why don't you start off by telling us, and I think everybody's wondering, especially in the current times, how did a young couple decide to strike off on their own restaurant venture, and why did you choose Flat Rock?
Well, we several years ago, we started talking about wanting to have our own restaurant. It's been a dream of both of ours for quite some time. So when the opportunity came, my husband here we were driving and we drove past the building that we're in now and saw that it was under renovation, and he decided to take the next step and contact the owner of the building, who has been an amazing person in Flat Rock too, Bill Miller. He's done so much for this town. But yeah, he ended up reaching out to him, and
yeah, just pretty much, we just found the building and we kind of just took it upon ourselves to, like she was saying, the owner and see what was going on with the building. And after talking our concept with him and everything that we wanted to do with the building and the business, he helped us, develop the business as well. So we actually partnered up with him, and that's how we opened up Station Atwater Street Tacos. Was from just talking to him. It just kind of happened. I mean, it wasn't like it was planned for years. It's always been a dream to open up a restaurant, and this one just kind of just happened out of nowhere. So. And
Flat Rock has always been very near and dear to our hearts. We've lived here for quite some time, and it's a wonderful community. Liz is amazing. The mayor and everybody here has been so supportive of us, and we've had a great, really, really great experience opening here in Flat Rock. We couldn't be happier with our community and our customers, and just being a part of this community has been just amazing.
Yeah, you guys are truly amazing. And basically, I guess in a nutshell, you would say you found a property that was perhaps a blight to the community, and you became superheroes to not only Flat Rock, but the entire Downriver region, because it's not just Flat Rock visitors that you're seeing at your restaurants and your kayak launch, but you're probably seeing people from all over Downriver, Monroe County, and throughout the entire region, correct?
Yeah, even from Ohio, we get visitors even from Toledo, especially during the summer with the kayaks. It's kind of like you're able to go and like achieve that up north feel without going all the way up north. You're spend 2 or 3 hours out here, you get the whole experience, but you're still real close to home.
Mm-hmm. And when I call you guys superheroes, I don't say that lightly. You are directly responsible for drawing in visitors to our region and potential investors and talent. And that's because of the hard work and the efforts and the dream that you had and the investment that you made into, again, not only Flat Rock, but the entire Downriver region. So you guys rock, and you are truly my heroes. I love you guys. So the
Thank
next question,
you. Thank you.
the next question I have for you guys, when did you decide to take advantage of the trails and waterways and tie those into your food experience at Atwater, Street Tacos, and Station 24?
Well, it was another one of those things that, we were open we were open in the restaurant for maybe about 6 to 7 months, and then there used to be someone else that was doing the kayak rentals at our location,
Motor City Canoe Rental. They're
which are now our kind of partners. We partner up with them to stay that location to be open, but under our name. And they ended up moving to a different location, much bigger location nearby, same river, but
in the Oakwood Center.
but that's how it kind of just started. We moved into their building, and they had already had a different location, and they kind of just let us run that location while they moved to the new location. So that's how it happened.
Pretty exciting. And I'm curious, have the trails that are in Flat Rock, which there's a lot of them, Hurock Park, and then also the Huron River and that entire watershed, how has that impacted your businesses?
It's been great. I mean, people are coming down to enjoy those different trails in the watershed and whatnot. And they'll go kayaking, they'll come back, they'll eat tacos, and you can't go wrong when
Hmm.
after you're done kayaking, come back and have tacos. So
Yep.
yeah, definitely, it's been very good. We've been able to definitely have in the summertime we're extremely busy with everything, uh, and a lot of it has to do with Hurock Park, with the river and the trails and whatnot. People are out ready to do stuff. Even last year during the pandemic, it was like the one thing you could still do in the summertime was once they opened up like where you could be outdoors and stuff. People were able to go kayaking. It was like a safe way to still enjoy
Hmm.
some sort of life.
That to me, that it's just extremely exciting that two brilliant entrepreneurs would launch businesses around the Huron River watershed and the trailways, and take advantage of what we have to offer here in Destination Downriver. And I believe that you guys are sparking future investment and future economic development in the entire Downriver region. So to me, that's just extremely exciting and incredible. So let's talk about a little bit about what you guys have just done on Telegraph Road. And you currently have Atwater Street Tacos, which has been a notable success and has now spawned a second Flat Rock eatery known as Station 24, which, by the way, I went there when you guys first opened, and the food is just off the chart. It's absolutely delicious. I love it. Just, so excited about Station 24. But tell us a little bit about how this new destination restaurant, or rather, tell us a little bit about how about this new Destination Downriver restaurant in our region, Station 24.
Well, this business started just by just the same owner of our building is the same owner as that building. It's, Bill Miller, and he's been wonderful with us, and like the whole time he's been just the best landlord you could ever ask for. And when that building came available, we kind of just pitched the idea to him of open a different business, same thing, a restaurant, but just different concept. And that's how kind of just started. It was from nothing, just ideas. And the three of me, Monica, and Bill, we just kind of pitched ideas together, and that's how it came about.
And you have this historic, like, gas station, 1950s style gas station feel. And I've seen the classic cars parked out there. And so how did you come about choosing that theme for the restaurant?
It kind of just happened. I think it was mostly her idea of,
Hmm.
you know, that I'm a big car guy, but it was kind of her idea
Hmm.
that, hey, we should turn it into like an old school gas station. And then it just kind of happened. And then we're like, oh, maybe we should involve cars. And then it kind of just happened too. It wasn't like it was planned from the beginning. It just kind of grew into what it is now. So,
We were lucky enough to get a photo from the 1950s of that same building from the
Okay.
Flat Rock Historical Society, and we were able to blow that up and put it on a mural inside of our building, showcasing like what it looked like in the 50s, you know, with the
Mhm.
gas pumps from that era and whatnot.
Yeah.
And then we've been really lucky because when the cars come out, it's really kind of cool because people are coming from all over with their cars, and they come down and they want to take a picture in front of Station 24 and post on Instagram and Facebook, and it's kind of cool because people are coming in and they're kind of seeing Flat Rock that maybe they wouldn't have come down before, and they're kind of, you know, they're going to S&J Cupcakery, they're going down to Blue Heron, they're exploring the downtown. And it's been really great, you know.
Yeah.
It's been really fun.
Yeah, I've been having car shows once a month. I've been having car shows, and I'm a member of a lot of car groups around here, especially on
Uh-huh.
Facebook. You know, different car groups. And the first car show we had was last month, and man, there was people coming from like north of Detroit, you know, Sterling Heights, like Pontiac. Like I would just meet people and like, hey, where you from? And they would just tell me where they were coming from, and I'm like, that's pretty cool that we're allowed that we can bring people from, you know,
We
pretty
were
far
shocked.
places just to come to a car show. But you know, not other than that, but they're gonna come try our food. They're gonna try different places around here, you know, that they probably would have never came down here because if it wasn't for cars, you know. So
Yeah, it's been
it's pretty cool.
really cool.
That's amazing. I love that. And I just love talking with them and experience the atmosphere that you have provided and built at your restaurants.
Yeah, we've decided to actually focus more on that instead of trying
Mhm.
to get more
Mhm.
money. Focus on serving as high quality of food as we can in our own atmosphere.
I love that. You guys, you're an amazing couple, just outstanding entrepreneurs. I'm with Gerardo and Monica Malgarejo, who again are the owners of Atwater Street Tacos and Station 24 in Flat Rock. And you guys have been a phenomenal guest today. Thank you so much for joining us on the Destination Downriver podcast. Thanks again, Monica and Gerardo. You guys rock.
Thank
Thank
you,
you,
Ron.
Ron.
Have a good
Appreciate
day.
it.
Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. My name is Ron Hendricks. I've been your host today for the Destination Downriver podcast presented by the Trenton Trib and Island Beacon. I want to say a special thank you to all of my guests today. Claude Molinari, who's the president and CEO of the Detroit Metro Convention and Visitors Bureau. Also Liz Henley, who's the economic development director with the city of Flat Rock and the new co-chair of the Destination Downriver Coalition. And some of my favorite entrepreneurs, Monica and Gerardo Malgarejo from Atwater Street Tacos and Station 24 in Flat Rock. I don't know about you, but I've had an absolute blast on today's podcast. A huge shout out to Kathy Kane, our producer, and the Trenton Trib and Island Beacon family, our presenting sponsor. Again, my name is Ron Hendricks. I've been your host, and I'm looking forward to seeing you on our next Destination Downriver podcast. Have a wonderful day.